Tonight we're going to be talking about what an actor does after they find out they have an audition, how they prepare. I thought that the best way to cover this topic was to go directly to some of my students in my audition workshop to find out what their tips are. After you get the audition, what do you do? And I figured the best way to do this is to go to you guys, the actors in my class, to see what is your process, because I'm not in those shoes. So I'm the casting director. I call you in. I give you the appointment. JD, what's your process? What do you do after you get the audition?
I read it and read it and read it and decide who the character is from the breakdown, the description, and I'll try to find clues, and then I'll go through the things that you teach us. The thing is the moment before, who am I speaking to, what kind of relationship, place, my intentions. And I'll read it again and I'll try to find the clues and the gems that the writer writes in the little descriptions that will give me hints to the overall character and what is going on in the scene.
So sometimes you just get the scene, you don't get the full script, right?
Most times.
Most times.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you really have to mine the script to sort of figure out what's going on. Sometimes you have to make things up for yourself sometimes.
Exactly, that would fit, sure, that I could see fitting, whether it's right or wrong, but it would fit in what's going on in the scene.
And you often get a breakdown of the character, so at least you can get some kind of vague description about what they're looking for.
Sometimes it's too vague.
Sometimes it's too vague, exactly.
Something I've started doing recently, and a lot of this is because of you, and a lot of this is because you keep yelling at me for it, is like on this one, for the sides, I was like, I don't know what this is from, so I looked it up on IMDb, and I found out who the writers were, you know, to get a feel for it, because I was like, I don't know.
You didn't understand the tone of the piece.
Yeah. And
yeah.
that gave me a little bit more room.
It's
to
a little tricky with that one. You're
yeah,
not sure.
Yeah.
So good. So you went to IMDb, you
Yeah.
looked up the writer,
Mhm.
and then you figured out other things that they had written, and
Right.
then
and I
you
looked
figured
up
out
the
the tone.
producers to get a feel for the mood of the types of shows they tend to do.
Great.
And that, I think, steered me in the right
Good,
direction.
good,
So-
good.
You know, I usually will get the sides, read the sides first, and then if there is a script, read the script and see where my scene fit in the story.
Okay.
And that tends to help me because when I first look at the sides, I get a gut
A
reaction.
gut reaction.
As
Interesting.
to what's happening and who this character is,
Uh-huh.
and then you kind of do the compare and contrast, you know, and see if my gut was right and what the overall intention of the scene should be. And, you know, for me, I tend to be a little over-analytical. I'm that actor who gets really bogged down in the details, and then I end up sabotaging myself.
Usually I'll leave it alone. If it's the next day, it's a little different. But if I have a couple of days, by now I have auditions next week, so Monday, Tuesday, and I won't even start working on them until probably
Because
late
you're afraid you're
tomorrow
just
night
going
or
to overdo
I'm
it
gonna
and overthink it.
Overthink it.
But you do prepare.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
It's not like you go wing it and
No,
fresh.
no,
you
no.
prepare.
No, I prepare. And part of my preparation is I read everything out loud, both parts out loud. I work by myself. I don't work with anybody else.
You do. And do you do the other person's lines? Are they mentally in your head,
I
or do you
will
say them out loud?
I will do them out loud as well, so it's not the first time I've heard them. I find for me, hearing them out loud, it's not a shock that when you go in the room, you're like, you know, and you don't hear those words first, and they're all internalized. Well, the person reading to you isn't internally in your head, so it can cause a little bit of a difference for me. And then from there, it's just a matter of just trusting myself with it.
A man was critically wounded in the presence of an FBI agent and a police detective. That is a page one screw-up.
You want to hang me out to dry, Kavanaugh? You do it.
You go in, I'll wait here.
You dated the coroner.
It's just a one-night thing.
Let me guess. You didn't call her afterwards.
She scares me. She knows 100 different ways to kill a man and get away with it.
That is why you don't date people at work. Now, come on. My report's not done. Listen, if you had to kill Travis, how would you do it? I mean, hypothetically. I mean, I figure I could strangle him and then hang him and make it look like a suicide. Yeah, but your best bet is poisoning, insulin or potassium chloride, undetectable.
I'm right here.
Yeah, but the safest way could really be to leave no corpse behind, you know? Chop him up and feed him to the sharks.
Okay, I should have called. I'm a jerk.
Did he just admit he's a jerk? He's in therapy.
I'm going to go back to Atlanta with you, Hal. We can do the counseling thing. We can, whatever it takes to make it work for him and for us.
I owe you an apology, Annie. I am truly sorry for what I've done. You don't deserve this.
No, I don't.
But I'm not leaving Kirsten. Look, I didn't expect this. I figured, you know, it would be like the first one, but I fell in love with her.
You did what now?
You work for Victor?
Who the hell are you?
Phil. I work for Victor too. He says you know who the guy is that crashed his place today.
Yeah, we did some time together.
Well, we need his address.
Why?
Why do you think?
Anthony, what do you do?
The first thing I think about, especially reading a breakdown that's like for a 30-year-old Asian
Yes.
woman, I'm like,
Yeah, why are
that's
they? Why am I?
odd. However, why not me?
Right.
Why not me?
They
why,
called
why-
you in for a reason.
Right, why couldn't that be me? And I remember from your class, you know, taking it, saying, make them change their minds about it.
Exactly.
So, I
rewrite
mean-
it for you.
Right. And so, but just like everybody else, I mean, obviously, if I don't have the script, like I read the sides and I do my best to not read the character description because I
Good.
like to I like to base my choices.
Good.
Because I did a lot of theater based on text only,
Mhm.
what the writer is giving you, and then
Good.
see, like you do down the line, see if any of those match up, and if they do, and if they don't, it's like,
Forget about it. Mhm.
Right. And it's just like, you know what, go with your gut,
Mhm.
because it's still, that can change their mind.
Mhm.
Well, first I figure out how much time I'm given. So if I have maybe a couple days with it, then I'll give it a little bit less thought as I would if I had the next day audition. If I'm given the script and the sides and I do have a week or so, I will read the script first. I will understand totally what almost every single character in the whole script is doing, what I'm doing, how it pieces together, and mainly figure out what network it's for. Because
Good. Yeah, good.
I
good.
have messed up on that before. I've treated it like a Fox audition when it was for a Disney audition, and it was just totally the wrong move.
You prepare anything as if you would, and even if it's that one thing that you know, even in the beginning, you're just like, you can't.
So you don't
you
tell
can't
yourself
think
you're
that.
not
No.
right ever.
You can't,
Good.
because who knows? You know, like I could go in the room and they're like, all right,
Yeah, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
You know, the dimples and the blue eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually like to start really small and go out because I'm trying to work on bringing me as much as possible. So I notice that if I usually tend to match the breakdowns I'm given pretty spot on. They're usually me. And so it's usually me. I'm usually the one going, well, maybe there's something, because this is too much like me. So maybe there's something in there I'm missing. So I'm just trying to trust that it is me. It's fine. So I go through it and say, where in here can I make these things me? And I start really small,
Good.
moment to moment,
Good.
throughout the sides. And I actually read the script later. Kind of, I mean, I will read it if I'm given it, and if I'm not given it, I will do my best effort to find it. I try and use resources that I have, but yes, I like to start small, go through each moment. And for me, the relationship is the big thing I've noticed, because when I get into the room, even if moment before also, even if I don't know where I am and that just goes out the window, but at least if I start with a thought before I come in and I know where I'm coming from,
Right.
and I know who
Who
I'm
you're
talking
talking
to,
to.
pretty much I can't go wrong.
Okay. It's been 2 years, 4 months, and 11 days since we first kissed. Now, I don't think I'm out of line asking you to start making some decisions.
What decisions?
I need a proposal.
Is this an ultimatum?
Yes. This is a picture of the ring I want. This should all be done at night in a public place. Wear your blue suit, no tie, and don't put too much product in your hair. Now surprise me with a mixtape. Some James Taylor, early Elton John. And make sure to close it out with Air Supply's Making Love Out of Nothing at All. Now, don't tell me when you're going to do it, but try to make it before the 15th, because that's my cousin Kristen's bridal shower, and it would be really nice if we could announce it there. I love you.
So the hospital holds this dance, right? For kids who are sick. It's really dorky and all, but it's just like a regular prom. You have bands, tuxes, punch, spiked with platelets. I went stag last year, and it was pretty dumb. But I figure since you're a patient and I'm a patient, this year we could go together.
Thank you. So where'd you end up going to school?
Well, I got into A&M, but after my dad died, I decided that I'd not go to college and stay home and help my mom with the family business.
The gas station.
Well, when I took it over, I added a junior market. So now we have a hot dog roller, an ice cream freezer, and this big plexiglass dome filled with dried meat products.
You're a regular Warren Buffett. Pass the ribs.
How do I know you're not one of those wannabe surgeons I work with? Cocky, self-assured. Think it's your God-given right to date 5 women at once. I'm sure you have a lot of girls lined up for the weekend.
Huh, try me.
Oh, you're a mama's boy. So you're a mama's boy and a player.
You're tough like your mom.
Dad, law firm, me. Ah, Terry. And another one. And another one. So is she your Saturday night?
She's my brother, Terrence. He's 18. He wants to quit high school. I'm trying to talk him off the edge.
Don't push too hard. My mom's pushed me really hard ever since kindergarten. And
You didn't turn out so bad. Every actor has their own process about how they go about preparing for an audition. But here's a tip from a former casting director. Make sure you prepare, don't wing it.